Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today on Vistaprint's Home Office Hours Live. I'm your host, Olivia Christian, coming to you live from my green couch in Los Angeles. For those of you that are joining us via Zoom, please be sure to put your questions in the chat. And if you're here on Facebook, please throw them in the comment section. I'm so excited to be able to share with you the details about this wonderful brand. I'm already like jumping out of my skin right here. I'm joined by the lovely, the talented, the brilliant, the creative Ashley Peoples. Ashley, please say hey to everybody and welcome to the show.
Hi, hello everyone. So happy to be here with you guys. Hey.
Oh, thanks so much for joining me this morning. It's morning for both of us because we're both in California and you are in my hometown, San Francisco, where I miss roaming the streets of San Francisco. But I'm glad that you're bringing the vibes of SF on the show today. And I see your little candle flickering there. I'd like to jump in. Like, be careful over there. But I'd love to jump in and talk about your. I'll let you know if you're starting to burn. I'm like, oh my God, things are happening. But I want to jump into the story of your brand, Sutter and Fillmore Home. I've already talked about the love of San Francisco, and clearly that name, well, clearly to us anyway, that name is of two streets in San Francisco. Tell me a little bit about the origin story of picking that name, and we'll kind of talk about how this brand even came about. But first, tell me about the love of San Francisco and how that name kind of came together for you.
Oh, happy to share that. Actually, Sutter and Fillmore Home, as you said, there are two streets here in San Francisco located in the Western District, this neighborhood. And it's actually the streets I grew up on. So I lived here in this area pretty much most of my life. So I got the inspiration I drew from my candle collection. I got it here at Sutter and Fillmore. So I wanted to be able to put that as the name of the brand because it made sense to me. And so here we are. This is a little feel of San Francisco in a candle.
Nice. And this became, as I understand, you really started creating this as a way to kind of connect with yourself, to have some healing during the pandemic. Take me back to that time when you're first kind of getting started and what inspired you to create the brand.
Oh, absolutely. So how we got started is actually back in 2019. I was going through a really hard grieving period. My mom went through a long bout of illness, and I was her caregiver for a while. And as she passed away, I was really going through that, feeling that loss. And as 2020 kind of came into view, COVID hit. And I found myself, grieving and then isolated because we were in a shelter in place. And I was trying to figure out how to kind of deal with all that stuff. And I took that emotions and I put them actually into trying to create, a hobby or a candle. And I started making them for myself initially. I was like, they just kind of soothe my soul. I wanted something really nice to kind of remind me of that, that energy that I was missing. So I was making them and I started making them for my friends and they started giving some really positive feedback. And I was surprised. I was like, wow, you guys really like this too. And then it was like, hey, Ashley, I need another candle. And can you make this spell for me? And I was so encouraged. And then I started making more candles and kind of branching out and really getting really creative with it and decided to get the courage to start a business. So that's how Sutter and Fillmore became. Yeah.
Wow. Being encouraged by your community, your friends and family wanting to purchase, and then just looking outside and saying, what do I name my brand? Oh, Sutter and Fillmore. It's perfect for you.
It made so much sense. Absolutely. And I'm being located here and being influenced by all the things in my environment at the time, even though I was in shelter in place, I'm here in an international city. It's a beautiful place to be. And, all those influences that I kind of drew upon that I wanted to kind of put here and share with the world my interpretation of what that really is. So here we have, our beautiful collection that you have over there behind you.
Yeah, we'll dive into all the different scents that you have because you've got an amazing range. But I want to kind of get back to the beginning because I think there are a lot of times where people might be interested in doing something. Like during the pandemic, it was like, let's all create sourdough bread or let's all figure out how to lose weight. Like people were diving into lots of different things, wanting to learn how to cook, but it doesn't always turn into a business. So I wonder, like when you started creating scents, were you starting to picture the emotions you wanted people to have when they burned candles? Or like, how do you go from like this smells good to like now picturing and creating scents for people beyond just you and the people in your friends and family who are buying those candles. Am I saying that question? Am I
Oh yeah,
getting
absolutely.
okay?
You know what I what I found on this journey, scents are very triggering to people, and they trigger some positive emotions a lot of times. A lot of times people, connect their memories to it, like what it was like going to your grandma's kitchen and smelling apple pie and things like that. So it's a very powerful thing. And for me, it was a very healing thing to, have certain scents around me to kind of, trigger a certain really, great emotion to give you some invigoration, to make you feel refreshed and excited. And to try, I was trying different scents to see kind of really what worked for me. And that also kind of really gave a good feeling for other people. So, I divided it up with like 5 different kind of feelings. One was like, an invigorating, feel, and I have like sensual feels and, a refreshing feel and et cetera, kind of going on and trying to match up those scents and to see if that really works for people. And it's been really, really fun to try to figure out, how that kind of works. And so far we found a really good formula using essential oils and it's been, kind of like a mixture of trying to, like a science project almost initially, but it turned out to be really, really good. And, I find it's really, really fun to get a chance to share that with people and especially hearing their feedback when they're saying, hey, I really, love that scent, can you do that one again? Or so, yes, it's been fun so far with the process, how it's coming along this journey.
Yeah, and you've grown from the candles to diffusers and room sprays. And I imagine that evolution has come about because people have given you amazing feedback. Tell me about how community is kind of informing your next steps and the next iterations of projects for you.
Oh, great. Yeah. I did want to make sure that we talked about COVID-19 being as a part of this process of it really has impacted it with trying to get out with the community and engage with other like merchant owners and in a local market. But what I found with a lot of the neighbors that were here and a lot of my friends, I really tapped into that network and they were so supportive with giving me a lot of honest feedback. And I did find that I had a lot of very discerning and selective friends who were very honest with me. But I needed that, it really helped me refine the smells and the scents and to also be able to expand out of the candles and to do the diffusers as well as their own sprays. As summer's coming up, I wanted to find some alternatives for people because not everyone wants to burn candles when it's, 90 degrees outside and you're sitting in Texas or somewhere, but you may want to still have a really pleasant scent, in your home or in your office. So, why not have a diffuser there or have a nice room spray that you can kind of spray around and just really kind of set that scene in your environment. So yeah, it's been they really gave me the encouragement to kind of expand and add some other products to our line.
Well, I appreciate you saying like the sense, like setting the scene for a room, for a mood that you want to have. Because I have to say, like, I am kind of a typical girl. I guess this is typical. Like, we like to go get a candle here or there and burn it around the bathtub or something. Um,
Mhm.
but when I got my hands on your candles, I have had your candles in my space now for about 3 weeks. And I have to keep myself from burning them constantly because I'm in love with them. Graceland is the scent that I'm like down. I don't know. I might have an hour or so left on this one. And then Escapade, another one that I love. And it's so light. This one's so light. So I kind of switch them from room to
Oh,
room. But before I had these candles, honestly, I would just buy one candle that I loved and I've loved for years that I got from a particular store that was in the mall. And that would just be the candle that I would burn. But now it's like I think about like how do I want to feel in this space or how am I feeling right now? And then which scent do I want to burn to kind of reflect that mood. Tell me about like even thinking through that process and how you want your customers to feel. What's like an ideal customer for you and for Sutter and Fillmore Home when you think about like creating that space and that scene for people?
oh, I love customers that, engage with me and give me some interaction and those that share, and the want to experience different type of, feelings during the day to set that scene, to set the mood. A lot of times we go through life and, we wake up, we feel a certain way and not realizing there's certain things that you can do to help trigger and change, how you're feeling about a situation. I want people to feel happy and excited and good when they burn that candle. They have that certain aroma and it encapsulates their room. And they're like, wow, I feel good now. Or I want to go out for a run. I don't know why all of a sudden I feel that way. Or, now I'm reminiscing about, some wonderful vacation that I took somewhere. So I really wanted these scents to transport people, to a certain happy place, a happy feeling that they can experience. And so I'm really excited that you're saying that, that's been accomplished, that you actually are, changing your mood, and you're actually feeling some emotions as are burning these and are thinking about it ahead of time. And I'm so overjoyed right now that you shared that, because that's exactly the goal that Sutter and Fillmore Home has, to bring that joy to people and to be able to help them kind of get their that feeling into a good place.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be like, oh my God, it's so amazing. But like, I honestly am not someone who would go out and buy like 5 candles and then decide like, it's Monday, I want to feel like this. It's Tuesday evening, I want to feel that way. But I really feel like these candles they bring it out of you, and it's an experience. And I say that to say, I've talked to a number of business owners on this show who've been so wonderful at sharing their journeys, and the power of community and the power of other businesses kind of working with them to create community, to create products that kind of mirror each other or complement each other, I should say, not mirror each other, but they complement each other. Are you at a place right now where you're able to connect with other businesses like florists or winemakers to kind of influence each other's brands and learn from mistakes or things that you can take advantage of to help grow your community, grow your customer base? I know you're still pretty new, put that pressure on you, but I'm just wondering if you're there.
Yeah, no, this is a great question. And, even though I'm still new, I've gotten so much great feedback about this product. And I've actually had some friends and some people that I kind of knew through other people who had, one has a hair salon and the other one has like a tea shop, and things I wasn't even necessarily connecting that I could partner with. But it makes sense, because when you're there, you're still having a service or experience, and you can still sit there and enjoy this candle, or if it's sitting there. And it's really allowed me to kind of expand my knowledge and be able to tap into other markets. And so yeah, I'm starting to build those relationships, and it is it's pretty exciting. And I'm hoping that these relationships thrive, and that I continue to be able to cross over to markets and share other some really good experiences with other business owners.
Yeah, I think it's really important for small businesses, especially when you're starting to get out there, to open yourself up to opportunities to partner with people, things that you wouldn't necessarily think connect. But like you said, like once you go into a hair salon, you go into a restaurant, or you go into a spa, like all of those products are setting the scene. They're putting people in a position to kind of relax and enjoy. And there are ways for businesses to create relationships that are helpful for growth and customer expansion. Oh no, did I freeze too much?
Yeah, you froze just a little bit, so I didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry about that.
I'm just gonna, can you hear me now? We'll see what happens. It's been a weird day today. Sorry, everybody. But I was asking about what your dreams are for the next year, the next few years. Where do you see all of these products, the big dreams of Ashley for Sutter and Fillmore Home?
Oh, wow. I have big, big, grand dreams. I'm a big dreamer, and I want to see Sutter and Fillmore Home in everyone's home. I want to see it on TV. I want to see it online in people's houses. I want people to be able to feel, this beautiful experience, and to be able to, again, to transport themselves to a little vibe of San Francisco in their home. And, it's a good vibe to feel, and so I want, brick and mortar, possibly to be able to partner with other, local merchants, and to get out there once we kind of get, street festivals back up and running here in the city, to be able to, get out in the communities and meet people, and get a chance to really see their reaction when they get a chance to smell it in person. That's something I haven't had a chance to do so far. And like now I get a chance to see you.
You say smell and sense, I go like,
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm really excited. I want to grow this Sutter and Fillmore home, and to add other home decor products to it that kind of complement this beautiful collection that I have here. And I'm just so looking forward to having, my dreams come true. And I hope they really, really do, because I'm going to work hard to make sure it happens.
Yes, if you've got the vision, you're working hard, it'll happen, it'll happen. Well, tell me a little bit about what you maybe have learned about yourself as an entrepreneur, right? Like you were doing this for fun, you were doing this for healing, you found some friends who wanted to enjoy it with you, but it's taken off. I imagine you're kind of like, wow, this is amazing, but you've had to kind of figure certain things out, labeling, branding, product research, expanding into different lines. What have you learned about this process, about yourself and about the world of kind of entrepreneurism? Oh no.
Well, it's funny because I am no longer 20. I can see you again. I'm no longer, like a 20-something-year-old girl. Now that I'm a little bit more mature, and it's different trying to start this business at this time in my life, because I have a lot of knowledge, working knowledge, as a business professional, but taking that and transferring that into entrepreneurship, which is a whole different thing, and you are constantly trying to learn something new, different ways, marketing and branding and strategies and business plans, and it's just so much to come to it. And I found that what I've learned about myself is that I'm disciplined, I work hard, but I have a long way to go. There's still so much to learn, and I'm excited to be able to kind of take this on. I do realize, again, I was very limited in my knowledge, thinking, oh yeah, we'll just see what happens, and start it. And then all of a sudden it just took on a life of its own. And now I'm sitting here, at early in the morning and late at night reading, different, information about businesses and how to, make them expand and thrive. And it's a real fun, challenging, challenging experience. And I've been digging really deep, and I didn't realize I had this type of resilience, but I'm really glad that it's starting to show its head right now.
Yes, that is amazing. And I just want to quickly say, I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. We are connecting via Zoom, and like we said earlier, it's the morning for us in California, and everybody in my building is apparently on the internet right now. And so it's making it a little bit difficult. So sorry that I keep fading in and out anyway. But you said something about, having to learn different things. And I know as an entrepreneur and you're business owner, like you said, it's branding, it's marketing, it's product research, it's finding out who your customers and competitors can be. How are you filling in those gaps? With what if you don't have a big team of people, you're doing all those things yourself, but emotionally sometimes you need to be able to fill in those gaps and find resources for you, I should say. Do you have your own little executive board? Somebody's helping you with research, somebody who's emotionally being supportive, being the cheerleader, being the critic, pushing you and filling those roles. And if not, I just given you an idea about how to find a support system potentially.
Absolutely. And I love that, but and what I found for me, who I've really been helping me a lot, is actually my family members. They have come through and have been so supportive, and we've gone through such a huge emotional undertaking over the last few years, and to kind of bounce back from that. And they just kind of are constantly calling me, hey, Ashley, are you doing this? Or I saw this, you might want to do that. And I'm like, wow, this is so great. I love the feedback. Because even when there's times where your energy gets low and, you're exhausted and you're trying to, okay, I have to take a little bit of break, and you still get a call, or you get, a wonderful sale on your phone, and you're like, oh yes, I'm back, invigorated, let's keep going forward. So my family has been my siblings, my children have been so supportive with helping me trying to get pictures online and content and marketing and brand research. And I mean, they've really, striking a fire and give it and actually forwarding things to me and sharing them with me. So it's been a family effort, and I'm just really grateful for it.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad to hear that you have a family that's there and supportive. I'm like your family. I have my dad and my siblings who are like, have you read this? Have you seen this? Like, this girl's doing this thing. And sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's overwhelming. And you're like, I'm grateful that they have the energy and want to support, but sometimes it can be a little overwhelming at the same time. And I wonder if you have that experience where family members maybe see something, or friends, see something in you, in your product that you didn't see in yourself. Um, the ability to create a business, to be an entrepreneur. Has that been an experience for you where people saw something either in your product line currently or just who you've been always and spoke this kind of resiliency, this idea, this entrepreneurialism into your life? Did that question make
Um,
sense?
oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I've had a few people. I reached out as I first started getting into business to some local merchants that I knew here, and asked about what the climate was like here. What is it like owning a business over here in this particular area? What was your experience? Dealing with different associations, and you have a brick and mortar. How was that for you? And I got a lot of feedback from people. They were people very honest. They shared a lot and gave me a lot of great ideas. Initially I thought I just, make a couple of candles and, next thing you know, hey, maybe you might want to try this. It's the summertime, Ashley. Not everyone wants to burn a candle. Oh, you got a good point with that. So maybe I'll go ahead and get a diffuser or a room spray, things like that, and I initially wasn't thinking about partnering with other entrepreneurs that maybe had a different product line in mind. But my friends were saying, hey, why don't you get put in a spa, or why don't you talk to so-and-so and talk about putting your candle over here? And it's like, wow, I wasn't even thinking of that on that level. But you know what? So glad you said that. And you know what? I'm going to look into it. And so far, all these things have been kind of panning out really positive for me. So I've gotten a lot of great information, and it's allowed me to really expand my thought process with this.
And I asked that question in a totally weird way. And what I meant to say, and that was a wonderful answer, and that's very helpful, because it's like, again, if you're listening to people who are giving you advice or inspired by what you've created, sometimes they give you ideas about where to expand and grow. And I guess I was just kind of thinking about myself in a relationship to you. My family has always kind of talked about me being aggressive and like going after my dreams. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't feel it. Like that's just who you are. And then later on in life, it shows up for you. You're like, oh yeah, I have been someone who's always done these things. And I have had that entrepreneur spirit. And I imagine that those things have showed up for you earlier in your life as well. A passion to attack something, to get after it, to make your dreams happen. And I wonder if that showed up for you earlier than Sutter and Fillmore Home. Did you have another experience where you created products, you created services, you tried to solve a problem, and you took it on, and that was the first kind of toe that you dipped in the water of entrepreneurs? I don't know if I can't say this. Entrepreneurship? Maybe that's a better way. Ship is better. Okay.
No, that is a great question. I'm so glad you asked it. Actually, yes, this Sutter and Fillmore Home is actually my second effort, and this is my solo effort in bringing a product, to the market. I initially started with my mom and my daughter and my sister-in-law and my niece, a skincare line. Actually, it was my mom and my niece that started it, and it was called Jonathan Taylor. And they started it just trying to find some solutions with people who had eczema and things like that, a natural approach for that. And we were product developing. We were in the kitchen, making different lotions and moisturizers and trying different things, and working on our products. And unfortunately, during that time, my mom got gravely ill, and we were not able to move forward with that business venture. And it was heartbreaking, not just the process of my mom being ill, but we had such a great product. Well, we were trying to have such a great product, and for that not to be able to be brought fully into fruition was a little disappointing. But through that process and that experience of being able to try to pull that product together and give that life and give it a whole, push, for the public, it kind of gave me the courage to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to carry on and move forward. And even though I my mom's no longer here, my niece, she's now, getting married, had a baby, and she's something else now. But I'm going to take this energy and the spirit of that, of that love that we tried to create there, and move it to Sutter and Fillmore Home and push that and share that with the world. So that's how I got Sutter and Fillmore. It's through Jonathan Taylor. So yeah.
Yeah, your family ties, your connection to your mom is running through the veins of Sutter and Fillmore Home. And thinking of moms, we're coming up with Mother's Day in a couple of weeks, right? I probably should check my calendar and get together on that. But tell me about what you've got going for Mother's Day. any promotions or things you've got going?
Yeah, I do. I have a Mother's Day promotion. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So we were trying to dig deep and find something, one of our products that we really thought the moms would really like. So we did a Mother's Day Graceland bundle. So what we're doing is that if you buy the bundle, which is buying the diffuser along with the scented candle, that will give you 10% off. So you get a little bit of break on the pricing, and you get a chance to give your mom a really nice scenting, layered scent experience, and fill her house with some love and some really good emotions, and put a smile on mom's face, and get her a good scent. So hopefully, people will really respond to it and get a chance to enjoy Graceland. And if this Graceland's not for you, we have 5 other scents that you guys can enjoy. And so yeah, good.
Yes, and you're gonna enjoy Gracelands. And if you don't enjoy it, send them to me. I will burn them all over the place. But let's make sure people know where to get the products. What's your website address? How do they follow you on social?
Absolutely. So you can find me actually online at www.sutterandfillmorehome.com. We have a beautiful Shopify store. You can also find us on Google Business. I'm on Instagram. All of it's under Sutter and Fillmore Home. I'm on Facebook. So you can always find me somewhere. I'm on Twitter. I have to update some stuff more. I'm still working on some of my social media stuff. So bear with me, people. But we're getting there.
It's a process. Being on entrepreneurs.
But yeah, please, I would love. Please come by.
Yes, I was just saying. It's a process, actually. You gotta take your time. You're good, and hopefully, people watching will invest in these amazing products. They smell so great. I'm actually interested in knowing, what are you burning right now? What's that over your shoulder?
Actually, this is our Graceland bundle that I'm burning right now. So this is the Graceland candle and my diffuser. And I have Escapade, which I think we were talking about not too long ago. I think you have this candle. And so I'm layering them both, and it's really giving me a really nice feeling, which is why I'm sitting here so relaxed talking to you all, full of joy and happiness.
Oh. I haven't thought about layering them. I'm going to burn them at the same time. We're going to see what happens, what kind of woman I become as a result. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for joining me on the show, Home Office Hours Live. I'm very excited for you. You are infectious. Your smile, your energy, this brand it's amazing. I wish you all the best in the world. For everybody out there, please go to sutterandfillmorehome.com. Make your mom happy, or the mom in your life, whoever's been but everyone watching, thanks so much for joining. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. And best of luck again to you, Ashley. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.